nails. Hold on. The Jill and Alice relationship is entirely based on mutual respect. I'm good, but I'm not that good.
But it's not just about Jill and Alice, it's about Jill, Alice, and Carlos.
Odette Fair is Carlos Oliveira to me. I mean, we couldn't have found somebody that's more kind of tall, dark, and handsome, but still tough. He's a great actor. He's just got this innate charm about him.
I think there's a little bit of tension between him and Alice. A lot of mutual appreciation.
My love interest.
I like the guy, you know. He's very cool, a fighter and a lover and all that. I thought I could bring something to it.
I think Carlos is supposed to be the man.
Missed one.
To care of all the girls. You can't help her.
Oh, Sophie Vavasseur.
Not now.
Working with Sophie is just embarrassing because she is so good.
I've seen what they do.
She's a kid by the skin of her teeth.
I'm 9 years old. And I'm clever. I'm 9 years old. I'm not a little girl.
She's just in your face, smart as a whip.
All my friends call me Angie. My character, Angie.
She's infected.
I'm sick as well because I got the virus, so my character is injecting herself.
How can you know that?
Because she is too. I think I'm bonding with everybody, especially with Alice. We're always looking out for each other, I think.
One of the other differences between this and the first film is there's a lot more humour in this film.
GTA, motherfucker! Oh, yeah! 10 points!
My character is LJ.
Yeah.
I'm like the section of the movie that's gonna keep it a little fun, you know.
Shut up, Mike. Stop making us laugh. He makes us laugh so much. It's hard to kind of concentrate.
Have you ever dated a black guy?
We're just having fun working together. It's one of those things when you just get on so well, you joke around all the time.
We're all together, and everyone's joking and laughing, and the other actors that aren't in the scene dropping by to say hi, and Sienna coming over and sitting and going, oh, that was great. It's been quite an amazing experience.
Guys, so in this, please. Stunt undead, regular background undead, and our heroes.
It's taking a year to basically go from accepted script to completion of the movie. It's just so big.
The only reason why we are making this is to have 90 minutes of entertainment for the audience. We all go into this movie and into this project creating that.
This is all fun stuff. And in the end, it is an adventure. We're trying to help people have a great time.
Who doesn't want to see beautiful women with guns, hordes of undead getting shot, fantastic action sequences? So we just try to make the film as fun as possible.
My first impression of Resident Evil was that it was just non-stop from front to end. Non-stop action. I always rely and have relied for a number of years on my main man, stunt coordinator, so to speak, Steve Lesescu. He is not just a daredevil. He's an engineer getting into the physics of a particular stunt. He's definitely been challenged on this one.
A little more to the center, Mila.
I wanted to make it look very gritty and have action scenes that I hadn't seen before and do it as real as possible.
It will make the movie more credible and more realistic that oftentimes our actors are performing their own stunts.
I love the action scenes, the fighting, the stunts. Fair wants to do it. Fair does it, and does it well. You missed one. The girls especially have developed their macho attitude, and they all want to do their own stunts.
All actors want to do as much as they can on camera. Unfortunately, sometimes it's very dangerous for them. In a way, I had to stop them a little bit on getting involved in the stunts.
I mean, nothing should ever happen, but I mean, when you have one of your leads hanging off a cable, 50 or 70 feet in the air, you want to make sure that they know what they're doing.
I think they want you to want to do it. If you're afraid, it would look better if a stunt guy does it. So you need to know when to let go.
When we shot the helicopter jump, what we wanted to show in this shot, we wanted to show the city skyline. We wanted to show that we were actually up on top of the
TD Center, downtown Toronto, and it was 450 feet in the air.
The first idea was to do this on blue screen, which I didn't like, and I thought it would look a lot better if we could do it for real. So when we did the stunt itself, the helicopter was flying, I think, 50 or 60 feet above the roof, and we had a square full of boxes where the stunt guy would fall in.
David Tomasini, the helicopter pilot, brought the helicopter into position, and as he approached the top of the TD Center, we had Joel Harris jump out of the helicopter and pull the guns out as he did the jump and blast the guns on the way down. It was a pretty amazing shot.
The only thing that we did later was to include a close-up of him falling. So that we did from a crane on a descender. We let Odette Fair descend, and the cameras were down below looking very close on him.
Jumping out of a helicopter, that's no big deal. I've done that, once a week.
When I first started working with Mila, the only reference I had of her was from Resident Evil 1. My first impressions were we have a lot of work because there's 1,000 times more action in RE2. When we were training Mila, her level of conditioning and just the sheer physical energy that she could come up with every single day just astonished me.
She's been going at it day in, day out, 5 days a week, 4 or 5 hours a day for 3.5, 4 months, working out with various martial art experts, then with trainers, then with fight choreographers, then with the stunt people.
She just excelled at it every single day.
When you're doing 3 hours a day of intensive training, it just wakes you up. Your body feels so much better, you have more energy.
She's in phenomenal shape that she was not in the first film. You really believe her as this evolving super weapon.
So when you see her kicking Nemesis's ass or kicking the Undead's ass, it's Mila doing that.
I'm all buff and stuff, and I'm into Hamilton, and yeah, what's up?
Mila's stunt double on Resident Evil 2 was Joanne Leach. This was her first feature film that she was actually doing the actual stunts on camera for.
Joanne Leach, my stunt double, is amazing. She's a world champion martial artist. I pretty much said, Joanne, if I can look like you doing that, I'll be fine. So let me just copy you, okay?
Oftentimes we watch the dailies and we have to look twice to see, is this now Mila, or was it Joanne, or is it Mila, or is it Joanne?
Joanne did the craziest stunt in the world on this film. You have never seen anything like this, ever.
Joanne had a harness and she was hooked up to a descender rig that I could lower her at a fixed rate of speed, but we also had her on a separate wire guide rig to keep her against the building so that she could achieve the running down the side of the building look, and then we had a completely separate rig set up for the camera.
When I talked to Mila about the shot, she was very impressed and thought it was a very cool shot to do. And of course, she wanted to do it herself.
250 feet, doesn't mean I can do it.
I really had to fight almost for her not to do the shot.
She was on wires and levers. Steve Luchescu had it totally worked out like a mathematician.
I did the last 60 feet of the rappelling down the building, which was scary, to say the least. I've done 200 and something feet of Magic Mountain where I hang on the wire and I release myself and then I fly back and forth, right? But the whole way I'm so this time I had to go 60 feet down, but no screaming. I don't know if people really understand what that means. It's the illest thing you could ever imagine.
It probably will look like a really expensive and brilliant visual effects shot, but we shot it for real in camera, and it'll be much more impressive for that. Nemesis is just this great, extraordinary, original being. We decided to basically find a really big bloke and built the suit for him.
Nemesis was played by a character by the name of Matt Taylor. Matt is 6'7" and weighs about 320 pounds.
He's one of those guys that you kind of go, hey, how you doing?
You're really, 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 really big, aren't you?
I think people are expecting to see a lot from this character. He has to make the audience believe he is who he is. He has to move a certain way. He has to look a certain way, obviously. And I think if you put someone in there that doesn't move the right way, it's not going to sell. So it's a huge responsibility.
They put this unbelievable costume on him, and it looks Exactly like the game and worse.
This suit was designed specifically for my body. No one else can wear it.
Nemesis' suit was literally designed around him. We tried to bear in mind weight issues. The suit itself still ended up weighing 65 to 70 pounds.
Couldn't spend more than 10, 15 minutes in it because it was so hot.
After the number of days I've been in the mask, you get used to it.
Mila and Matt trained together for about 6 weeks straight, approximately 4 hours every day on the fights that they did.
We spent quite a bit of time together. She seems like she's a tough one, so I wouldn't want to get in her bad side.
For every move Nemesis makes, Alice does 5 moves. She's always thinking 5 steps ahead. I tried my best. I tried.
The cameras were rolling, the adrenaline's pumping, and that's when the Nemesis kind of just exploded.
Resident Evil 2 was certainly one of the more complicated movies that I've ever done. Everything that just basically wore you down and wore you out for the entire time that you shot. You just kind of forget about all that, and you're just really happy when you see the final footage on the screen.
Zombies is a very touchy subject because we really don't know how zombies react. For me, it was important that the zombies were moving the same way, more aggressive and more dangerous. Especially when we had 300-400 people acting as zombies, it was very important that all these zombies kind of acted the same way. We hired this choreographer who came with the idea of how to teach how these zombies would move.
Jeremy, who's the producer, he said to us at the outset, he says, well, the undead are very difficult to do. And it's true, they are very, very difficult to do, to make them scary and to make them real. The logistical challenge is how do you now make everybody uniform in their undeadness?
They were specifically looking for a modern dance choreographer because they did want to get away from anything that had to do with static zombies or B-film zombies.
It's the ideal background because you're actually dealing with the synthesis of body motion and marrying it up to a story.
They want to get some kind of a reality on, okay, how would we do this? So that's when Derek and I pulled together a group of dancers and actors, and we did our initial research module. Basically, we took care of the entire world of the undead. We went right away back to the script. We took a really good look at what the writer was trying to go for. Actually, Derek did an incredible script analysis, which he formulated into a document that he called the Undead Bible.
It's a completely technical document. We had to go through the entire script. Every instance of the undead in there had to be sort of accounted for. It's not that they're undead, it's that there's a virus that makes them undead.
The T-virus in Resident Evil, how does it get into the body, right? Sends a kill team up the spine into the pineal gland, which then bursts and kills the person if they haven't already died from being bitten to death.
After you've got that down, you go, okay, well, now you've got all of these theoretical things that the undead do. Now you've got the challenge of actually translating that into something that not only you can do, but you have to train 1,000 people. You have to train 1,000 people to do it the same. Welcome to Undead Boot Camp! Little monster lab.
We have a little monster lab, yes. And we rearranged their universe.
We had boot camps for 4 days for the principal performers who would go undead. All of the features.
Basically, we go right into the physical work. First thing I would do is, okay, inhale, exhale, relax, man, let your body go. And then we go immediately right into the work of the undeadness in the eyes and not there-ness, because that is the key to the undead. What I want you to do is just to start relax all the musculature in your face. Okay, it's like dead flesh, let it rot out. And then you want to try to get a super soft focus with the eyes. Just even relax the eyelids, all the muscles that you usually hold up when you're animated and living, just let them drop down, you know. There's nothing going on, basically. It's like cutting the line. The actual being is gone. And because the being is gone, there is no mind either.
So after we would get the focus going in the eyes, we would immediately start to work on forward mobility. We had 3 instructions.
No hunchback.
Oh, yes, no
hunchback. Straight arms.
No straight arms and no club feet.
No club feet. No dragging your feet.
Those are the first things. They go like this, or they go like this, or they drag one foot. We developed this thing called liquid zombie and Zen zombie, which is a way for the Resident Evil breed of zombie to move and interact with the living. The Zen aspect is the undead always move towards the living target, and they're relentless. They're always moving towards you. You can push them this way. They take the motion But the next available thing comes forward. It's almost like they love you. They just want to be with you all the time.
They had this whole thing called Liquid Zombie, which was about just completely